Well, all 30 teams can sit at the end of the season and look back and talk about games they should have won and, tough times here and there. But when you live it, it has a lot of meaning to it. And you're walking through the clubhouse today and see the faces of the guys knowing that 90 wins is a big step. It was a huge step from where we've been and all the things we went through, and to see the expression on their faces that they accomplished something, even though we accomplished it last week. Knowing what we got ahead, I just talked to Ennis, and he said the fun's just starting, and he's right. And we worked hard to get there, and we're going to enjoy it. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to get ourselves ready this week and go out to L.A. and play like we know how.
How fitting was it today, given what they've meant to your team all season long, especially in terms of consistency, that Curtis gets the big hit in the 8th and then Familia ties the franchise record in the 9th?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we tried to do this week was we were hoping to get our Familia in a situation where we could break that record, but to tie it's a huge step. I mean, especially where we started out day one when, all of a sudden we lost our closer and he stepped up and did a tremendous job all year. And Curtis Granderson has been the steadiest guy. I think, he's just been out there every day. As you guys know, he never asks for a day off. And when you give him a day off, he's upbeat. He's ready to go in the 7th inning. He's got a bat in his hands, ready if you need him. And he's really, really, really happy for him today.
You were able to get a lot of pitches and inning of work, and focusing on Bartolo a little bit. We don't know Game 4 who you might start, but to have a guy like that, if a game could go in extra innings, knowing that he can give you length, how important would Cologne be in this coming series?
Well,
for you?
You saw Rich exactly what he's going to bring, and he just walks in, he punts the strike zone. He doesn't beat himself. He makes you swing the bat, and he's the one who wanted to pitch today. He came in, he said, "Look, if you can, I'd like to get in there today." And there was even a thought earlier to try to get him extra innings so he could try to get to 200, but he brings a lot to the table, and he's going to be a steadying influence in that bullpen. We've got a lot of young guys that are going to be in that bullpen in Los Angeles, and to have him sitting out there, I think will help a lot.
Terry, after all the times you've either hypothetically or in real time had to think about pulling a guy in the middle of a no-hitter, are you at all amused today watching this take place?
Well, I will tell you, I mean, of course, Max was outstanding last night, but, they're talking about the shadows in Los Angeles being tough. It was tough to see today. Guys were coming back, and, they couldn't pick up any spin or anything on the ball. So I wasn't surprised that you looked up and there wasn't a lot of runs on the board or a lot of hits today. But, again, I just think it's a great way to finish. Yeah, we had a tough week, but you know what? We got to move ahead and take the win today. And everybody got some work. Everybody got at bats, and I think we're ready.
Yes, Terry, you might have talked about this pregame, but what went into your thought process on how you're going to use the starting rotation in the division series, and how, with the way Syndergaard did pitch in L.A. recently against Kershaw, how much did that play into that?
Well, a lot of it played in the fact that he did pitch well in Los Angeles. When we sat down, a lot of it had to do with Harv's workload. We're still certainly well aware that where he's at limit, innings-wise, and, that he wants to pitch. We get all that, but, we kind of made a pact with everybody involved that, we're still going to pay attention to it. And as I said before the game, I think Game 3 in a 5-game series is the pivotal game. And so I told Matt a week ago, if we get in, you're going to pitch Game 3. It's big. It's going to limit you, obviously, to the number of times you're going to pitch, which is part of the whole plan behind him saying, hey, I want to go out and pitch as much as I can at the end of the season. And then we went with the guy that I think's pitched the best all year, and that's Jake DeGrom. To have him start Game 1, Noah, who after his rest in September is absolutely brilliant. He can go Game 2, and we're going to come home. We got Matt taking the mound, so we kind of like the way it sets up, and we're going to let them go pitch their games.
You took a victory lap. Obviously, you want to have at least one more victory lap around here, but what was that feeling like with the fans just saluting you? Well,
I sat here last October and told our fan base that, their patience is going to be rewarded. It's time for us to win. So I just wanted to go and applaud them for all their support. The last month, those series against the Nationals here, the energy in this stadium, I have never been around it. And the players talked about the importance of it all. And so I just wanted to go around and thank everybody. You know, you can't shake everybody's hand, but just to let them know that we knew they were there and we appreciated their support, and we promised to show them a good time, and, you know, come Friday.
Terry, one of the things that Kadire and Wright have said a lot in the past few weeks is how these young pitchers you're going with in games 1 to 3 prepare like veteran pitchers. And knowing that their young pitchers have never been through it before, does that make you feel better about knowing how they prepare, not like young pitchers, but guys that have been around?
Well, I've said it before. My pitching coach does as good a job as anybody I've been around to get people ready. And if you stick with the game plan that he puts down, you got a chance to be successful. You make the pitches that you got to make in situations you're going to get outs. And so he's taking these young guys. They all rely on him. They all believe in him. And they all got great stuff. And they believe in each other. So, you know what, we feel very, very good at what we're looking at, starting playoffs. And I think that with some of the veterans on our staff, combined with this young talent, they're going to get ready. Now, they got to go make pitches. And, you know, I tell you a little story. Back in '92, got ready in the playoffs against the Atlanta Braves when I was in Pittsburgh. And, you know, all the information back then was not on a computer. It was in this binder. It was about this thick. And Jim Leland, at the end of the meeting, took the binder and threw it up in the air. Papers are flying all over the place. And he said, understand something, this game's played by humans who make mistakes. So all the information we have is legitimate, but now we've got to go execute it. And I think we've got the guys who can do that.